The City Channel presents Meet the Candidates. This is your opportunity to meet the 5 candidates running for Cupertino City Council. The 5 candidates are Don Burnett, Andrea Harris, Steve Haze, Sandy James, and John Statton. We begin with City Council candidate Don Burnett.
Before I was elected 4 years ago, I promised to be your voice in making decisions about Cupertino government. I've tried very hard to do that, and if re-elected, I will keep at it. I'm accessible, I'm in the phone book, and I return calls. Growth. How do we control it? We changed the city's general plan, that's how. It has taken almost 4 years to have a majority of the council willing to address the massive growth incorporated in Cupertino's general plan, but finally, we're doing it. With my vote and the vote of my colleagues on the council, over 2 million square feet of bonuses should soon be voted on by the City Council. I'm going to vote to remove these bonuses, and am optimistic that this will finally be accomplished. I see as a further next step, review of that general plan, including the massive housing bonus given to us by the state of California. This burden is a direct result of Cupertino's heavy office industrial development. That's the development that fuels our traffic and the resulting red light running and road rage. Developers are relentless. The city recently received a request for another 1.2 million square feet of office industrial development. I'm not opposed to reasonable land use, but I find this request for a huge bonus outrageous. I promise you, if this comes to the council, I will vote against it. I encourage you to ask other candidates what they will do about this. Take a look at that huge hole in the ground on De Anza Boulevard. I voted against the outsized building that will grow above it, but my vote wasn't enough. Let's turn to another area of concern to many of us. I believe that we must work together to ensure that the cultural changes taking place in our community are met in a positive and accepting way, and that all voices and acts of racism are countered whenever they arise. This hasn't been easy, and it won't be easy, but by working and talking together, we can do it. I believe that it is the duty of community leaders to set the tone with their words and actions, and to work to make the most of the precious asset that is Cupertino's diversity. Finally, I'm happy to report that the city is in its soundest financial condition in many years. I will work to keep it that way. Cupertino must continue to be able to provide needed services for all of us. I welcome the opportunity to serve you for another 4 years. I hope you decide to give me that opportunity. Be sure to cast your vote on November 4th. In Cupertino, your vote can make a difference.
City Council candidate Andrea Harris.
I don't know who's luckier. I get to speak for 2.5 minutes, and you get to hear some juicy bits about Cupertino politics. I'll just ask some questions. Are you aware that we're about to build close to 1,000 apartments and 500,000 square feet of office space in the next year in Cupertino? Is it your desire to have Cupertino be a mid-sized city with tall buildings everywhere, gridlock on the roads, and no room in your neighborhood schools? Are you glad that we now have a Macy's clearance center instead of Emporium at Valco? Or glad that REI and Any Mountain are going to Westgate and Super Crown Books to El Paseo? And that Clean, well-lighted place is closing its doors altogether? Do you think the city should have a $19 million surplus while the library closes at 6 p.m. 4 nights out of 7? Most residents I talk to say no to these questions. They want a community-oriented town with good schools, unclogged roads, views, and healthy business. These are real quality of life issues for Cupertino, which is why I am here today and why I am running for City Council. Even though I chair the Planning Commission, I cannot make the changes needed from that position. On the council, I can. So if you want to see the Cupertino I want to see, vote for me on November 4th. Voting for me is the next best thing to running yourself.
City Council candidate Steve Haze.
Over the years, Cupertino has experienced tremendous change, some good and some not so good. For 15 years as your friend and neighbor, we have fought successfully to reduce the amount of high-density development, increase neighborhood and hillside protection, fought to reduce traffic, worked to improve the quality of life, and to make government work for all of us. There are three things I would like to briefly discuss with you today: growth, community, and leadership. I support responsible growth. 2 years ago, I recommended that the excessive growth of over 2 million square feet in the general plan be reviewed for its negative impact on the health of our city. I was told that it would be bad for the business community. Now, the city and businesses are starting to agree that this growth policy is unworkable. At the same time, we have to ask ourselves, what if Apple or Tandem leave? What is the city's plan? We need citizens and small businesses to decide what is best for Cupertino as well, not just the city and large corporations. Beware of those who say it's simply a matter of growth or no growth. It's just not that easy. We need to ask ourselves, what is our vision for Cupertino as we go into the next century? I have worked to see our community pull together to improve our schools and neighborhoods. Let's continue to work together to build a stronger community as we celebrate our rich diversity. I would like to see the senior center and library expansions finally become a reality. Lastly, I would like to talk about leadership. As a business executive, husband, neighbor, and community activist, I know that there are many challenges that we experience in our daily lives. We all know that solving problems takes a lot of hard work and at times may seem insurmountable. But these are opportunities for us to excel as well. Perseverance does pay off in the long run. On November 4th, I ask you to persevere with me. Leadership is not about following. It is about all of us working together to build a better Cupertino as we go into the 21st century. Please vote for Steve Haze. Thank you.
City Council candidate Sandy James.
Hi, I'm Sandra James. Most of you know me as Sandy, and I cannot possibly imagine how in 2 minutes I can tell you who I am or what I stand for. But a very special friend asked me the other day, Sandy, how do you feel about the last 8 years? And I can honestly say without thinking twice that I feel absolutely wonderful about the last 8 years. I've worked for all of you the last 8 years. You elected me in 1989 and again in 1993 to be your representative on the Cupertino School District Board of Education. During those times, we hired 2 outstanding superintendents, cut $3 million out of our general fund budget, while maintaining the quality of education that you've come to expect from the Cupertino School District. In 1995, I chaired the Measure A campaign to raise $71 million to renovate our 23 schools. Many of you worked side by side with me during this 5 months to accomplish that. We got 80.8% of the vote from this community. It's a wonderful accomplishment that the community can be proud of. As my term came to an end this fall, many of you encouraged me to run for the Cupertino City Council. And now many of you ask me why I'm doing that. I'm doing it for 3 main reasons. First of all, I believe that my experience, my integrity, my professional standards, the partnerships and the relationships that I have forged while being on the Board of Education transfer quite readily into municipal government. Secondly, as I've lived in this community over the last 30 years and raised my children here, I've become concerned about a change in the attitude of what I call the we-they mentality. You have to be pro-business or anti-business, pro-environment or anti-environment. I personally feel that none of those things are mutually exclusive, and what makes this city unique is that we are all of those things combined. I, for one, am a small business person, an educator, a parent, an environmentalist, and I fit very comfortably in this skin. I bring to the table the ability to bring diverse groups of people together to come to a consensus and what we all want at the end, which is a community that is safe, healthy, happy, and successful for all of us to live in. Please come up and talk to me in the community. I'm on your Parks and Rec Commission, on your school board. I'm out on the soccer field, the baseball fields. I'm hiking Rancho San Antonio along with the rest of you, trying to stay in shape. And please vote for me, Sandy James, on November 4th. But most importantly, please exercise your privilege and your right to vote. Thank you.
City Council candidate John Statton.
Hello, I'm John Statton. I'm running for City Council because Cupertino is a great city, and I'd like to help it become even better. Too much growth and too much traffic are concerns that I share with a lot of you watching today. In the last several elections, voters have sent a strong message to City Hall about the need to control growth. We have put the brakes on office development, but the Council has approved over 1 million square feet of new housing in Cupertino. Traffic increases and school crowding are going to be the result. Neighborhood privacy and balance are affected when monster homes are being built on small lots. We need to slow down so growth can be more thoughtfully incorporated into our community. Strong neighborhoods are important. We want a town where friends and neighbors can be acquaintances and not strangers. The city can help us build bridges between each other by supporting the 4th of July fireworks, cultural diversity workshops, neighborhood disaster preparedness, youth sports, citywide garage sale, and Shakespeare in the Park. These are the things that help us get us out of our homes and meet our neighbors. Cupertino has one of the best park systems in the Bay Area, and I believe that caring about our local environment is an important duty for each of us. I was part of the team that kept Blackberry Farm as a city park rather than letting it become a subdivision. Other environmental issues that I support include reducing traffic on our streets, protecting hillsides from development, and encouraging bicycling and alternative transportation. How we pay for quality local government should concern all of us. The city receives only a small slice of our property taxes. Sales tax income is vitally important to maintaining our quality of life. I know how important it is to have a healthy business community. We need to boost sales tax revenue by revitalizing Valco. In fact, I told my wife that I would not rest until we had an Ann Taylor at Valco. Fortunately, our City Council has been building up one of the biggest budget reserves of any city in the Bay Area. The surplus is approaching $31 million. After setting a prudent level of reserves, I don't feel it's right to sit on taxpayers' money. Now is the time to use some of these reserves to expand and improve the senior center and the library. I look forward to meeting each of you as I walk door to door, and I hope for your support in November.
The preceding presentation represents the views of the City Council candidates and does not necessarily reflect the views of the City of Cupertino. Election Tuesday is November 4th. Please vote for the 3 candidates best suited to serve on Cupertino City Council. For a listing to meet the candidates' dates and times, pick up a free copy of the City Channel program schedule available at these locations, or log on to the city's website at cupertino.org. And keep watching the City Channel, your new source for City Council election programming.